So, at church camp, most youth groups take that time they have with each other to just worship God and do have Bible study together, just try to get as close as they can to the Lord. But if you were my old youth group, you didn't do that at all. You just gambled, okay? Now, before we get started, this is not a story that encourages underage gambling. This is a story that tells you how I stopped gambling forever. Now, our favorite game was blackjack. Now, blackjack, I mean, who doesn't like blackjack? It's super easy. All you do is just count the number on your card, and if you go over the number 21, you lose. I mean, it's so easy, yet so intense. And we would bet literally all the money we had, which was actually about 20 bucks. But when we ran out of that precious paper, we would, no joke, bet our watches. One kid even bet a guitar once, and it just got crazy. And I remember the day I decided I was done gambling forever. It was beautiful. The sun was shining, there were children frolicking across the fields, the birds were singing, and 4 kids sat silently around a table playing blackjack. It was the sound of peace. I mean, it was more peaceful than the sound of silence in a public bathroom, okay? It was amazing. So, these 4 kids, which included me, Wilson, Carson, Zach, were sitting around this table playing blackjack, and the table, which probably weighed about 75 pounds, which will come in handy later, it was covered in like dollar bills and coins. It had some toilet paper, a watch, as I said before, like a $15 deck of Rick and Morty Uno cards. I mean, there was just a ton of stuff on this table. And so we'd been on the same game for about 3 hands now because everybody was tying. And Carson looks over at Wilson, and Wilson was the dealer, and Carson goes, "Wilson, I know you're cheating!" And me and Zach are just sitting there laughing, and Wilson goes, "I'm not cheating!" But really, he said it like this, "I'm not cheating," because he doesn't have a deep voice. Anyway, so Carson goes, "If I find out you're cheating, I'm going to pick up this table and throw it at you." And me and Zach thought that Carson was joking, but he wasn't. Anyway, so the next hand comes out, and of course, guess who gets the perfect blackjack? Wilson. And Carson, before anybody else even lays down their cards, Carson stands up and picks up this table, starts picking it up, and Wilson, no, I've never seen a child run so fast. I mean, he was quicker than the Flash, and he ran to his room, which was right here, right? And so Carson, meanwhile, has the table above his head, and it's flinging trail mix and quarters and dollar bills and cards everywhere. Me and Zach stand up and get right next to Carson, because we do not want to be on the other side of this table. And Carson has the table above his head, and he heaves and just throws it. Now, since Wilson was in the threshold of the door did not hit him. Instead, the door hit both sides of the threshold. Now, this stinking table defied all laws of physics because me and Zach are standing next to Carson and we're laughing at Wilson, okay? And then the table bounces back, okay? The table bounces back and me and Zach and Carson are standing right here. The table hits the threshold, bounces back. Me and Zach literally push Carson forward because we don't want to die. And the table hits Carson square in the legs. Carson barrel rolls over it, and the table just comes right here to me and Zach's feet. And we just sit there and look at Carson. And the only word that can come out of Zach's mouth. So I do the only thing necessary. I just kind of walk over to Carson and sit down on him while he's writhing in pain. And yeah, I've never gambled since.